Nope.
What is up, you guys? I'm James from Untitled Chapter, and in today's video we're going to be talking about snake breeding. But first, I want to show you my eggs in the incubator. Now, none of these are snake eggs, but look at that, 3 gargoyle eggs. So the one female that I have, she started to lay a second clutch, or more eggs, or what am I trying to say? She laid a clutch of 2, which is awesome. She laid 2 single eggs previously. Every 2 months it seems she starts laying, but this clutch was like a week earlier, and it was 2. So I think she's really starting to get the hang of breeding. It took her a little bit longer than I would have liked, but you know, we're definitely here. We have a baby. We have 1 egg right about to hatch, and we've got 2 more. And over here we have some Crested Gecko eggs, all from my first group, which is my Dalmatian group over here. Sorry, they're all switched around ever since I moved. Of course, I cleaned the glass like last week. This group, what I'm gonna do, there's 1 gecko in here, and it's pretty much sold. I'm just waiting for the guy to pick it up. Once he picks it up, I'm going to deep clean this, then move everything into this one, then deep clean this, and then put my male in here for about a week. Or maybe I'll just throw the females in there, leave them in here, and then put them in there, then deep clean, and then just kind of leave 1 empty all the time and deep clean them all, and eventually we'll get 2 more. Now these, I measured, these should just barely fit with like a 1/4 inch up there, so fingers crossed it works. But back to snake breeding. Now, if you guys watch my Thursday videos, that is my ball python video series. We just started it. If you watch this series, I appreciate you. That's definitely going to be a long stay series on the channel. That's a series I can't imagine ever stopping, and I'm just going to do, even if nothing happens, I'm going to be doing a video every week. You know, the more snakes I get, the more likely something's going to happen. And well, let me just show you right now, even though it ain't Thursday, and I don't think I showed this in my video. Those are my Spider Mojave and my Super Fire Pastel Pinstripe, and that's a lock. So just like that, we have a lock. Now, he actually locked with my pastel twice, and this one only once, so to see him lock again is good. After this, he's gonna go right back in with the other one, and I'm gonna wait to see him lock, and just, you know, and then I'm gonna give him a week off, and then I'm gonna put him back in. My boss specifically said, he said, hey, I do it every month. I'm gonna do it more than every month, just because they're the only snakes I have, and I'm not wanting to miss an ovulation. So I'm just gonna do it every like 8 days or 9 days or something like that. My Vietnamese blue beauty snakes. Let me take a chair for this one. So obviously my male down here and my female up there. Now, hopefully you guys can see in the background. These are snakes I've always loved since I first saw them. My buddy Tristan, he's an awesome guy. He's actually kind of out of reptiles right now, but a lot of local people will know who he is. I went with him to a reptile show, a San Jose reptile show. I think it was back in 2018. And he picked this snake up. He knew the guy selling them. He had already talked to him. He had already told him he was going to buy one. The guy just produced him. And he picked this snake up. And I saw that snake and I said, hey, that's beautiful. Obviously, it's a beauty snake. I said, I want those. And then he proceeded to let it loose in my car on accident. So I had to get it out front of the seat. And I told him, you know, as time went on, I said, hey, when you're ready to sell that, I will buy that snake from you. A couple years down the road, I bought this girl. The buyer made me buy a pair, which is very common because not a lot of people want males and stuff like that. They want to be able to breed them. These are kind of rare, beautiful, not higher end, but they can go for like $350 a snake. And they're colubrids, so they could lay 10 eggs a year. You know, that's quite a lot of money. But so I had a brother and he had a tail kink, and I said, hey, I'm not really wanting to inbreed a brother that already has a tail kink. So I sold him to a coworker, and I had this empty spot, and a couple months go by, and my buddy hits me up. He goes, hey, I have that snake. I know someone else already wants to buy it, but I promised it to you. He said, I'll give you a good deal if you come buy it right now. And I said, let me stop at the ATM. I'll pull money out and I'll buy the snake. And that was quite a few months ago, if not closer to a year ago, that I purchased this snake from him. I've been with my girlfriend 2 years. I've known this snake longer than I've known her, which is just mind-boggling to me. When I brought this snake home and that like hit me, I was like, dang, like this guy knows me. I know this snake. I've seen him at his house every time I went over. And you know, he's not the friendliest. He's a rat snake. Obviously he's not striking the glass, but if I were to go and pick him up, he would hiss at me and most likely strike at me, but I do love him. Now, just the other day I was talking to my dad on the phone and he goes, hey, how are those beauty snakes? You know, I always see those and I think they're really cool. And I said, yeah, they're doing good. Probably about a year from now I'll be pairing them up and breeding them and hopefully seeing the first sight of eggs. You know, my female's like 2.5 years old at this point. And I get off the phone with him and I'm doing stuff in the reptile room. And I look over at the female and she's peeking out at me, which usually means she's hungry, but she had just eaten. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll take her out. I'll see what's up. Hold her for a little bit, kind of get her, you know, if I'm ever just sitting there thinking about it, I'll hold her, kind of get her used to being held. I want to be able to take her to shows and stuff. Obviously once COVID's over. So I take her out and I'm holding her and I'm thinking, wow, she's actually really big. And I hold her up on my body. I'm 6 foot and she's just about 5.5 foot, you know, and I'm like, 5.5 foot, adults are like 6 to 7 foot. Granted, his dad was 13 foot 9 inches. Take that in, 13 foot 9 inches. So I don't know how big he's gonna get. I hope he gets bigger because that would just be amazing. Obviously, it'd suck to have to get him an even bigger enclosure. I'm sure he'd love that, but the space-wise, that'd be hard. So this snake's 5.5 foot, and I'm like, well, he's like 6.5 foot, and he's an adult, and adults are like 6 feet. I'm like, is she ready to breed? So I took the lid off, and I kind of put them next to each other, with the glass in between them, and I slowly like put her over, and she was kind of hesitant at first, but he was definitely into it. So I said, hey, I'm going to be in my reptile room for a little bit. I'm going to put them together. I'm just going to sit there and watch them and watch YouTube and hang out and see what happens. And he ran around the room, ran around the enclosure, chasing her, trying to lay on top of her. So he's a bit longer than her, so his tail never lined up with her tail. But I figured, hey, I'm just going to leave him in here. And I forget what I went and did, but I knew it wasn't going to take that long. So we come back in an hour, and we come back, and they're locked up. So that's another snake. Hopefully I can see eggs of this year. I'm really nervous and I don't know why. I think it's just snakes take 3 years to raise up, right? And especially I know this from geckos, the first clutch of eggs isn't always good. It's not always fertile for a first time mom for the first time of the season. It's not always good. It's a lot of times they're infertiles or she doesn't lay or something happens. Always the first time, right? Now, that's kind of okay with geckos because they lay the first time and a month later, they lay again. And then they lay again. Snakes will lay once a season. Some of the colubrids, maybe twice. I'm not going to try to double clutch these on the first year. If she does it, she does it. But I don't think that's really a great idea at this point in time. It kind of depends on her weight, I suppose. But, you know, if something goes wrong, I only have this one shot a year. And it's not like a gecko where I raised it up for 8 months. Like, I've been raising these snakes up for 3 years. Now, granted, the ball pythons are a bit easier because I bought them as adults and I'm not too worried about them. But something's going to happen this year where I have all these snakes breeding for the first time. I'm bound to have 1 or 2 not produce, which would be kind of upsetting. These ball pythons, I want them to produce. I really, really do, so I can make that money back and reinvest it in more ball pythons. These guys are my absolute dream snake right here. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. I love them. I love to produce them and, you know, maybe hold back our nice blue female and raise her up and then have a breeding trio, which would be awesome. And then you start thinking about over here, I have my California king snakes. They're not ready yet. I'm going to give them another year. The female doesn't eat the best. just kind of afraid of larger prey items. But somewhere up here and over here, I'm gonna end up putting my corn snakes when I get them, and that's just more snakes I'm gonna breed this year. So I have my trio of ball pythons, I have my pair of beauty snakes, I have a pair of corn snakes, and then I have another trio of corn snakes. So potentially I have 6 female snakes laying eggs this year. And it's kind of nerve-wracking. You know, I've been raising these snakes for 3 years, and I'm not sure what's gonna lay or when it's gonna lay or how everything goes because I've never done it before. I understand there's pulling them out of the brumation, feeding them like crazy, seeing locks, pre-laid shed, all that stuff. But because I've never done it, I'm just nervous I'm gonna do it wrong. So I have a lot of research I still want to do, but there is a good chance I'm gonna have baby snakes this year, and hopefully a lot of them because you know even if I have a couple not go, it won't be the end of the world. Obviously, it would just be a lot nicer if they all went. So that's kind of where I'm at for my snakes this year. I'm hoping next year. So to talk expansion wise, if everything has babies, the plan is buy either another adult female or subadult, a pair of babies, probably with recessives, for ball pythons, and to kind of like double my ball python production, if not hold another baby back, so to double or triple my ball pythons, that would be awesome because that would really, you know, then the year after maybe I have, instead of 2 females, I have 3, and then I have a 4th one on deck for the next year already. And just really get the ball rolling with that. These beauty snakes, I have no plans on buying any more currently. You know, I will hold back another baby female, probably 2, and just kind of start raising them up and see what happens. And if I have to sell one of them, I mean, a subadult female, I could get 400 or 500 for easy, just because, you know, someone could breed that in a year or 2. There is a denim jean line. I forget who makes it. It might be Zirkle Reptiles. I could be wrong on that. But they are absolutely beautiful because they're even more blue. They're line bred to be blue. It's something I say. Ball python people don't line breed for some reason. But they're line bred to be more blue. It looks almost identical to denim. If I can find a picture, I'm going to put it up right now. But last I heard, the waiting list was like 5 years. And I think the babies are like upwards of 500 to almost $1,000 or something like that. So that would be awesome to get, but I don't have $500 to put into it to wait 5 years for a baby. So who knows? Maybe in 2 years, all the people who bought babies the first year will be producing, and I can get some from that line. Who knows? Who knows, right? And then for the corn snakes, I do have a trio raising up. It's going to be 2 or 3 years till they start breeding. I have an extra female reverse Okatee that I'm raising up. She's got another 2 or 3 years on her. Like I said, the Cow Kings, give them another year. And I do have plans to buy another pair or a trio of corn snakes this coming year. As babies, obviously, to start raising them up. It's going to be a nice gene. I'm not 100% sure what I really want yet. It's either going to be some scaleless or some palmetto, most likely. Most likely. Probably one of those two. I don't think I want to put those 2 together. From what I've heard, they're really ugly. I know people are working on fixing them, but could you imagine a palmetto het scaleless? That's got to be really expensive. Or a pair of palmetto het scaleless. And then you get fucking palmetto scaleless and palmetto pos het scaleless. That's just crazy. I can't even imagine that. But yeah, but that's it. I mean, those are all my snakes that are breeding. I really want to talk to you about this and to kind of go over the ball pythons and what's up with the corn snakes. I'll be taking the corn snakes out of brumation come mid to late March, something like that. So another month, month and 2 weeks or something like that max. Which is crazy to think about. They've been brumating for so long. It feels like that every year with those. Because my leopards, I put them in, and as soon as 2 months goes by, I take them out because it's just I miss them. I miss them. I miss feeding them. I miss taking care of them. I miss looking at them. So anyway, nevertheless, that's kind of it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I know snake content isn't as big on my channel. I don't go over it as often. Of course, I do the Thursday videos with the ball pythons, but I don't have that much going on with the snakes. Not like I do with the cresteds and the leopards, and they're all breeding, and I've bred them before. The snakes, this is the first year, so they're kind of unlocking a whole new chapter of videos I can do and content I can put out for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the snake content. Like I said, I'm going to start doing 3 videos a week. One will always be ball pythons, and the other 2 will usually switch between snakes, leopards, or cresteds, possibly isopods every now and then, possibly fish, very rarely fish. Along with other things, I might do other things throughout the week, but expect it to not always be the same kind of animals, and that's just the way it's going to be. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that definitely helps out the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.